Giants scouting report. He has a 1.64 earned run average in his last 3 starts, but Phillies haven't hit a whole lot in those games. And other than the shutout in Toronto, they're just 1-2 for him.
Well, he is tied for first among rookies with the 5 victories that he has. And as he has progressed this season as a starting pitcher, you know, the book on him is that he is very difficult to pick up with that fastball.
Well, and when he's down, he's effective.
Willie Taveras leads it off for Cincinnati, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
When he has a real good downward gleam on his fastball, then he can go up and get hitters to chase. But when he's up and doesn't mean to be, that's when he gets hit.
Line drive down the left field line. That's a foul ball. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Taveras. Greg Dobbs will track it down. Taveras is riding a 4-game hitting streak for Cincinnati. He has hit in 8 of his last 9. And last night, he had a base hit in 4 at-bats, and that base hit was an infield hit. And it came in his final at-bat.
He gets a lot of infield hits.
And he's alive with that foul ball.
He hits a lot of balls he doesn't hit hard enough to get to the infielders. And then he can run really well. So he beats out quite a few hits in the infield.
You see what he's done since the 25th of June. This is not a lineup that scores a lot of runs for Dusty Baker. That one's pulled toward the hole at shortstop. J-Roll's got it, and he has no chance. That's the 2nd infield hit in this series for Taveras, who had 207 infield hits coming into this year.
It's time now for our Keystake Chrysler Jeep keys to tonight's ball game. Really nice night here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, 22 last night. Who knows what happens tonight? And you want to keep up this home momentum. Phillies have struggled so much in this ballpark, and now they're starting to play good baseball.
Yeah, the Phillies have won 4 consecutive games here at Citizens Bank Park, and they begin play tonight with a 2-game lead in the National League East. And now you got to keep an eye on Taveras, because he has stolen 16 bases this year, and he's been caught just 3 times.
Yeah, Willie Taveras is the kind of guy who can get you a quick run. And, you know, you start all over. They're not down by 22 tonight. One thing the starters have been doing lately is having clean first innings. And I think that really helps the momentum of the offense when they come in and they're not behind in the game.
Well, Cole Hamels had a clean first inning last night. He worked a 1-2-3 top of the first, and then the Phillies came back and scored 10 runs in their half of the first inning. And there's a pop-up right side. Ryan Howard, the first baseman, makes the call. And Hap's going to have his first out of the inning. 1 away here in the top of the first. So Hairston's retired, and now Jay Happ will have to deal with the left-handed hitting Joey Votto. Votto has a 9-game hitting streak in which he's hitting close to 400 during that span. And overall, he's hitting 361, and he doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title at this point, because he's missed so much time on the DL. And quickly, Jay Happ works ahead. No balls and 1 strike. How many folks tonight, Wheels, thinking coming to the ballpark wondering how many runs the Phillies will score after last night?
Well, that's on everybody's mind, because usually when you score a lot of runs, the next night you don't.
A little toss over to first, and Taveras is back. Well, last night, as Jay Happ sat and watched, the Phillies, for the 29th time in their history, scored 20 or more runs in a ball game.
Seen a few of those, and a couple of them are, you never forget the 23-22 game they won at Wrigley Field. That Mets game, that what was it, 26-7. The Von Hayes 2 in the first. They've been on the winning side of a lot of them. I've been lucky enough to see.
Well, 28 of the 29, they've been on the winning side. The excruciating one was back in 1922 when they lost 26-23 to the Cubs. I mean, imagine scoring 23 runs and losing that ball game.
Pitching wasn't real good that day, huh?
I guess not. There goes Taveras. The pitch is hit foul, and it's 0-2. And Willie Tavares just asked the second base umpire, Dale Scott, if that ball went foul or not.
Yeah, and a guy made a great play in the club level off to our left.
What do you think Jimmy's saying to Jay Happ right there?
It probably has something to do with who's what's going on about covering second. You know, whether or not he wants to know what he's going to throw or not. You know, infielders, you want them to come forward and then go cover. And with Tavares showing that he may run, as you look at the umpires there, and Mike DeMuro behind the plate, it looks like Rollins is covering.
And he gets Votto swinging on strikes. 2 away.
That's that sneaky fastball you're talking about, Tom. Not that he throws real hard. That was only 90. But it has a little late life to it, and he hides the ball a little bit. See right here, he kind of hooks it and hides it. And Votto got a really late swing at that on a pitch that was not a strike.
So Happ with his 51st strikeout of the year. 2 outs for Brandon Phillips here at the top of the first. Phillips was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game. He's got pretty good numbers this year, including the 53 runs batted in, which is second only to Chase Utley among second basemen in the National League. And a fastball a little high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Brandon Phillips, a great athlete, won the Rawlings Gold Glove last year, second baseman, and he can hit too. He just looks to me like he just tries to hit too many home runs. But they got him in the 4-hole. Maybe he thinks that's what he's supposed to do.
I think they would like to get Jay Bruce back up to the middle of this lineup eventually and put Phillips somewhere else where they can utilize even his speed as well.
Maybe when you see a right-hander tomorrow night, they'll probably move Bruce up a little bit. And then another left-hander, of course, and Jamie Moyer on Thursday. Rodrigo Lopez will pitch a game here tomorrow night.
2-0 the count to Phillips with a runner on first. Another toss over by Jay. The starting staff has done a very good job on this homestand. In 4 games, the starters have allowed 4 earned runs in 27 innings of work. That's pretty darn good.
4 wins.
There goes Tavares. The pitch is taken for a strike. The throw by Ruiz on the shortstop side. He got him. Ooh. And Tavares is nailed for the 4th time this year, and he doesn't think so. Oh, what a quick release by Carlos Ruiz. And Jay Happ faces the minimum here in the top of the first. Tavares still doesn't think he was out. Here's the throw by Ruiz. A good tag by Chase Utley. And the Phillies are done here in the top of the first. Here's Charlie Manuel starting lineup. Jimmy Rollins leads it off at shortstop. Shane Victorino, the center fielder, bats second, followed by Chase Utley, the second baseman. Ryan Howard is the cleanup batter. He's at first base. Jason Worth, the right fielder, hits 5th. Greg Dobbs, the left fielder, bats 6th, followed by Pedro Feliz, the third baseman. Carlos Ruiz does the catching. He'll bat 8th. And then batting 9th and pitching, of course, is Jay Happ. And they'll face the veteran Aaron Harang in his 18th game, 5-8, but with a decent ERA at 3.86.
Pitched a great game against the Phillies back in May. Had a high strikeout game, and this guy can be real good if he's on. And has a variety of pitches. Here's the scouting report on fastball in that range. Normally he's right around 89, 90. Tries to use a sinker. Good slider. He'll try to get ahead of hitters and then throw fastballs up to chase.
Well, Jimmy Rollins will lead things off, and Jimmy is riding a 5-game hitting streak. And speaking of chasing, he hasn't chased too much lately.
No, well, you know, when you get locked in the way he is right now, the ball looks a lot bigger probably. And the whole key to his hitting and most guys' hitting is to stay back as long as you can.
Last night he began the first inning with a leadoff walk, and the Phillies, as they had done in the previous 3 games, scored a run in the bottom of the first last night. In fact, they scored 10 runs in the bottom of the first.
Victorino right there, Shane on deck after the walk, hit a home run, and they were off and running for a 10-run first inning.
13 batters came to the plate last night, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jimmy. Harang is a lifetime 500 pitcher, 74 and 74. He has led the league in strikeouts 1 season, had 16 wins in 2 other seasons. There's Johnny Cueto, who had an ERA that was the 4th best in the league coming into last night's game until he was sent to an early shower with 2 outs in the first.
That's a turn the page for Johnny Cueto. Get ready for your next start against the Mets.
And Jay rolls down on strikes, 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning. All-Star voting isn't over quite yet. From today until 4 p.m. Eastern Time, July 9th, you can vote for the 33rd and final player for each league roster. Go to Phillies.com, cast your All-Star final vote for Phillies outfielder Shane Victorino, and he could be the final representative for the game in St. Louis. Vote now, vote often at Phillies.com. And there are the players who are available, both the American League and National League. Shane is 1 of 5. That includes Matt Kemp, Mark Reynolds, Christian Guzman from Washington, and Pablo Sandoval of the Giants.
Sandoval hit a grand slam home run last night with 2 outs to make that game 5-0. Giants needed every single run to win the game against Florida.
And they won it 5-4 as Victorino rolls 1 to second. And Harang's got 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. So Harang has done something that pitchers have not been able to do on this homestand. Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino had been combined 20 for 34 before tonight, and Harang's gotten both of them.
Kind of won breaking balls too. He struck out Jimmy on a slider. That was a changeup, and he got Shane to roll over to second. Harang likes to work fast, and look how long Utley's. It's almost like Utley's trying to slow him down right now.
Well, Chase in last night's game was 2 for 3 with a run scored and 4 RBIs, 3 of which came on a 3-run home run in the first inning. You see what he's done against the Reds over his last 17 games. He's hot. He's 6 for 15 alone this year with 2 home runs. And 1 ball and 1 strike the count to him. Some of the numbers from last night. The Phillies, for the 4th time in club history, scored 10 runs in the first inning. The 5th most runs, 22 overall. And the 21-run margin of victory was the largest post 1900 for the Phillies. It's also the largest margin of defeat by the Reds. I mean, they're the oldest franchise in baseball.
Yeah. There's Harang. That's what he did to the Phillies in Cincinnati. 2 strikes on a hitter. He threw a high fastball, and they were chasing all night, and he was getting strikeouts. And, you know, hopefully they filed that away, and tonight they won't do it. In that case, Chase just stayed off a high fastball.
And he's run the count back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Chase punches it the opposite way. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Chase around first, thought about second, but Gomes did get to it quickly. And Chase is aboard with a 2-out single.
How about that swing? You know what, a check swing. It just looked like he almost hit it out of the glove of the catcher Hernandez. Watch how long he waits. Waits. Boink. Little quick swing. There's just no way to look how strong his wrist must be to wait that long and just flick at a ball like that and hit it that hard.
Well, it also shows you just how well he's swinging the bat too.
Exactly. That's the point we were making about Jimmy. When you can wait a long time, that means you're swinging the bat well.
Ryan Howard was the last Phillies starter to get a base hit in last night's game.
But you don't want to try and teach a kid, say, now wait till the last split second and just kind of flick your wrist. It won't work.
Might work for a couple of years, but it's going to catch up to you.
Oh, man. That's just a different style of hitting.
2-0 the count. That one gets away from Hernandez. Utley's going to try for second. The throw. He's out at second base. I think Chase is kind of surprised that Dale Scott called him out. So, in both half innings, base runners are surprised by the call at second base. The Phillies go down quietly in their half of the first, and a little bit of defense and a nice recovery by the Reds. We've completed one. No scores. We go to the second. No scores. We go to the top of the second inning. Brandon Phillips, who was up when Willie Taveras was thrown out to finish the top of the first, gets a fresh count as he leads things off against Jay Happ. And Happ with a changeup on the outside corner for a strike. There's Phillips' numbers again. He is hitting .295 against left-handers this year. And overall, as you saw, .265 batting average. And Happ worked his head very quickly. 0-2. There's a fan down on the suite level that just made a heck of a grab with his hat on that foul ball.
Some people bring a glove.
Some people forget.
Yeah.
High fastball, and he stays alive. A little face paint here at the ballpark today with some good seats. Man, they got a good view of what's going on sitting over the tarp. Try to check his swing. A foul tip right into the glove of Ruiz. And Phillips is down on strike. Second strikeout for Jay Happ. And one out here in the top of the second.
Could hear a little sound down there too, and he obviously just tips this thing. You can't tell, you know, it's happening so fast. But here's the sound. Listen.
Just a little bit.
Just a little tip, you know, before it popped into the glove. And that's what DeMuro heard too. And you could tell that Phillips looked like, how did that hit my bat?
Well, here's Johnny Gomes. Gomes, since being called up from AAA, hitting .329 for the Reds, 5 homers and 16 RBIs. He was one of the guys last year for the Tampa Bay Rays who led their surge, or helped lead their surge from the bench. He hit under 200, but he was one of the guys that came up with that Mohawk idea. Remember when they all had that Mohawk last season?
He wasn't on their postseason roster in the World Series, right?
No, he hit 8 home runs during the regular season, but only hit $182 during the regular season. They let him go after the season came to a close, and that's what he's done in very limited time with Cincinnati.
And a home run to right center here last night off Hamels there for their only run.
Oh, the changeup, that's outside, 3-1. Dusty Baker has used 64 different lineups this year in his 82 games, and I think it's odd, or I should say surprising, that he didn't change tonight's lineup. It's the same as last night.
Yeah, well, with another left-hander going.
Probably figured, all right, can't get any worse.
Yeah, I figured, well, it wasn't my offense's fault last night. He played enough years and has managed enough years. He knows what it's like when a pitching goes like that. The offense just kind of tucks its tail and runs.
Less than .500 record with the Reds, and there's a called strike 3. Gomes thought it was ball 4, but I think that was just wishful thinking. Third strikeout for Jay.
That looked like a real good pitch, and down too. Oh yeah. Now let's see if it's knee high. Oh yeah, above the knees. That was a good pitch.
Well, Gomes has rung up 3 strikeouts in a row for Jay Happ.
That's where Happ, when he pitches down there in that zone, he can really do some good things on the mound.
Well, his best outing of the year came 2 starts ago against the Toronto Blue Jays up at Rogers Center, when he pitched a complete game shutout. It was his first ever, we're talking minor leagues, major leagues, first ever professional complete game shutout. He was really good that day.
Yeah.
Little looper, right side. Ryan Howard will give it a look. It slices back toward the crowd. And it's 0-2. Hey, during the 2009 season, just a reminder, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And with Phillies record at 43-37, that means $4,300 has been donated just with the victories alone. Talked about how good this starting staff has been during this homestand. Well, how about in July? Overall, the staff, the entire staff, has an ERA of 3.12. And that's more than a run better than what their numbers are for the season.
Well, they're on a nice run right now. They're starting pitching, and as a result, they look like they're a lot better baseball team. There's the month of July, and that's what the Phillies did offensively. And the earned run average, 5th at 3.12.
They're scoring a lot of runs, a little more than 6 per game, as that one was just a little high, and it's 3-2.
Threw a curveball there. He doesn't throw a whole lot of those, but not a bad pitch for him to use once in a while.
In the air to center field, Victorino heads back, and he's under it, and the inning is over. A 1-2-3, top of the second inning for Jay Happ. He looks pretty comfortable so far through the first 2. No score as we go to the bottom of the second. Dish out their true opinions on the day's hottest topics. Watch Daily News Live tomorrow at 5 before the Phillies-Reds game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. And the Phillies fans who watched the highlights of last night's ball game, that's the easiest way to sell some tickets, is when you see an offense score 22 runs in a game. And they are hoping for, well, something similar in tonight's ball game. Now, the first inning was very different. Phillies only had 3 batters in the first, not counting Howard. Chase Utley did have a single, but he was thrown out trying to go to second on a potential wild pitch. Howard with 20 home runs and 61 RBIs. As you saw, he had him homered in 49 at-bats. Taveras going back, and that streak is over. Long home run for Ryan Howard. It's his first one since June 20th. And the Phillies once again take the early lead here at Citizens Bank Park. They're on top 1-0.
Talked about how he's been in a home run drought. Well, it's over. That's a long one, too, for Ryan Howard to be in a drought that long. And he ends it with a bullet, a bomb to center field. That thing was one of those real high ones. And you wonder if it was going to hit the bricks out there when it went up. Here's a look at it. Harang comes after him early with a high fastball away. He gets extended. No doubt about it. Where's it going to hit? Right in the bushes.
So 1-0 Phillies, and that is the 115th career or 15th home run this year for the Phillies, and the 198th in the career of Ryan Howard. And Mark Falkenstein of Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. Again, we haven't even put it up yet, but you've just won $100 compliment of the McDonald's home run jackpot. Introducing McCafe coffees at McDonald's, a new line of lattes, mochas, and cappuccinos. 1-1 the count to Jason Worth. And that one's down and away, 2-1.
And once again, the Phillies take a lead.
Yep.
And that's what they've been doing here at home. Taking leads in these games. And, you know, their pitching, as you mentioned, Tom, has been real good along with it.
Well, in the 4-game winning streak that they've had here at the ballpark on this homestand, they had scored 15 first-inning runs. I mean, that counts the 10 they scored last night.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've scored a run here in the bottom of the second inning means that in 5 straight games on this homestand, they've taken the early lead. You just pitch differently when you have a lead early.
Absolutely it did.
3-2 the count to Worth.
And, you know, we talk about it, the offense, they will play differently when they're not behind all the time.
Jason's 1 home run came last night against Paul Janisch, a grand slam. And he pops the 3-2 pitch up. And that'll find the seats behind home plate. So he's still alive. Another sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. All fans 14 and under receiving that great Verizon beach towel featuring Ryan, Cole, Jimmy, and Chase. And again, that'll find the seats down the right field line. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good catches being made here tonight. That guy had a glove. That could be the first game.
And that young lady received one of those beach towels tonight, Wheels.
Yeah.
She'll enjoy it. And according to that shirt, this is her first Phillies game. Too bad it wasn't last night.
Yeah, that would have been memorable.
In the air to right center field. Taveras going back to the warning track, and that one is gone. Opposite field home run for Jason Worth. He has just gone back to back with Ryan Howard. And the Phillies have picked up right where they left off last night. And they lead it 2-0.
One thing Harang will do, he can throw some home run balls. That's 16 on the back-to-back home run. Hey, Jason Worth, that was really a good swing. The fastball, and it tailed back into the middle of the plate. And he hits it hard the other way. You see where it was supposed to be was away. It came right back into that hitting zone, and he didn't miss it.
We talked last night how Jason Worth had struggled against the Reds during his major league career. He's just 1 for 24 coming into last night's game. Well, he's got 2 home runs in this series against Cincinnati, and he now has 18 home runs and 51 RBIs. Wills, he's on pace for a 100 RBI season.
And one of the best things about it, you see Ryan hit his home run in this inning first, is that he hit him the other way. And that's always a good sign. That means you're staying back. And he didn't, it wasn't like he got a late swing and hit it down the line. Those are drives to right center field. Charlie Manuel, he loves to talk about hitting, and one thing he likes is guys that, as he says, they hit him gap to gap. And that's a big time hitter as far as he's concerned when you go gap to gap.
1-1 the count to Greg Dobbs, and Dobbs sends it in the air. Shallow left center field. Tavares on the run. Gomes is there as well, and they nearly collide. I don't think Willie Tavares, if they had collided, would have won that. Would have won that battle.
No, John, he would have been a bug on a windshield with Gomes. Look at John. He looks tough.
He looks like he could have played in the 20s and 30s.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Tavares. Now, center fielder is supposed to take it if he could get there. I guess Gomes didn't hear him. And luckily for Willie, Gomes peeled off.
Pedro Feliz now the hitter with 1 out. Pedro chops the first pitch past Sam Perlazo. And it's 0-1. Pedro has just 2 hits in 24 at-bats against Harang. He's having himself a pretty good offensive year with 40 RBIs. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes to him. Those 2 home runs that Harang has allowed in the city. He's now allowed 16 on the season. And that's back into the crowd.
He has 16 on the season, and now 10 of them to right-handed hitters, or 9 to right-handed hitters, 7 to left.
He is in a hitter's friendly ballpark where he pitches his home games.
And he's in one tonight.
Opposite field, base hit for Phillies. He started to bail a little bit, but he hung in there, kept his hands back. That's the 4th hit of the night for the Phillies.
Well, Harang's he's missing away to these right-handed hitters, and the ball's coming back over the middle of the plate, and that's why they're hitting him like this.
See Milt Thompson in the dugout. He's got to be feeling pretty good about the way his offense is swinging the bat lately. Out for Carlos Ruiz.
Used a slider that time. His fastball, he's aiming it away, and I don't know if he's trying to run it back like a backdoor fastball or one of those running fastballs of the right-handed hitters, but he's missing with it, and they're not missing.
Nice play by Hernandez. 1-1 the count. Carlos overall you saw hitting .234. He's 8 for his last 64. Did have a base hit in last night's game and an RBI. Scored a run. As Pedro takes his lead off first. That's on the outside corner. 1-2.
Another slider. You see Carlos say outside. Nope. Mike DeMure is a guy who comes from umpire side. His dad, Lou DeMure, was a longtime American League umpire. One of his father's son guys, like the Rungis, Crawfords, Gormans,
Wendelstedts. Carlos is strikeout victim number 2 for Harang. 2 away here in the bottom of the 2nd. Jay Happelbat here in the home second with a 2-0 lead. Jay picked up his first major league hit in his last game against the Atlanta Braves. He smoked a 1-hopper right past Martin Prado at second base.
We were talking about that in that game, Tom, that, you know, you figured he was going to get a hit sooner or later because he don't strike out that much. And he hit some hard ground balls, but he was always hitting them right at somebody. And that one took a bad hop by Prado, and he got the hit on it. Took him a while to score it.
That's the only hit of the year, the only hit of the career for J. Happ. He's 1 for 14 this season. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
1 for 14, but only 4 strikeouts.
Fooled a little bit there on that breaking pitch.
That could be the equalizer. He had a really good swing. Well, not a good swing, but, you know, he had an aggressive swing. It was late on that first pitch. So Harang, you know, he's thinking maybe I better do something a little bit different. This guy looks like he wants to be up there.
Hits it in the air, foul territory down the left field line, and that'll be back a row or 2.
Pitcher can pick up on that right away when he sees a pitcher and they doesn't want to be there. Then he can just pump fastballs and get him out of there. But Happ looks like one of those guys who wants to swing the bat.
And there's a called strike 3. So a fastball right down the chute. Happ is strikeout victim number 3 for Harang. But Jason Worth and Ryan Howard went back to back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And they've given the Phillies an early lead once again. And for the Phillies, they lead 2-0 as we go to the 3rd. Trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, who holds the Reds record for most all-time wins by a manager? And the answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Dusty Baker, who has had successful tours with the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago Cubs in his 2nd year here with Cincinnati. Took the Giants to a World Series where he lost to the LA Angels of Anaheim. Jay Bruce leads it off here at the top of the 3rd. And a sneaky fastball from Happ. And a swing and a miss, and the count is 0-1.
I'm thinking two guys, and well, we'll go with those later on.
See Jay Bruce's numbers, a lot of home runs, decent number of RBIs, 18 homers, 41 RBIs, but his batting average at .215.
This guy can run a little bit too, and he's a great thrower in the outfield.
Yeah, he's got 10 outfield assists, which is tied for the most in the National League.
Well, his arm is strong, but the biggest thing is not is it's accurate.
And another strikeout for Jay Happ. 4th strikeout of the game for Jay.
You know, he can live up there. We talked about that. He can live up there when he's down early in the count. That's what he did again. And then he'll throw a high fastball and they'll chase, kind of like Votto did earlier.
Well, and when you're not used to him, and the Reds have never faced J Happ during the regular season, you're not expecting this.
See, now whether he tried to do that or not, it didn't. The one like Carlos was setting up there, but their eyes were down on that at bat, and now he comes up with one, and they chase.
I remember talking to Kevin Millwood when he threw that no-hitter against the San Francisco Giants, and he said that if you could change the eye level successfully within the strike zone, you can get by with basically fastballs during a game.
You sure can, and the location of pitches are so big. You just keep throwing things in the same spot, same speed to major league hitters, no hitch.
1-1 the count to Edwin Encarnacion, who's 2 for 12 since returning from the DL.
That's why these guys that foul a lot of pitches off are such successful hitters, because they seize all the different and they time it after a while.
A little late on that one.
And that was a perfect fastball down in a good spot, and he gets ahead. Now he can do some things with a hitter by keeping that fastball down. He just got look at it. See where Carlos sets up, and look where that pitch is. It's perfect. He was going to hit his glove, and they tried to go upstairs and get him to chase. Good job. And Encarnacion just stayed off it.
The thing about Happ tonight, which might be a little different than his last couple of starts, is that we've seen him moving that fastball up and down, but we've kind of seen every one of his pitches so far in the first few innings.
That was a slider, change up, maybe one or two
curves. Yep. Again, he's even 2-2 to Encarnacion, and he got him. Change up, down and away, and Encarnacion is down on strikes. 5th strikeout for J Happ, and that matches his season high. And these Reds will remain in town for 2 more games. Tomorrow is a 7:05 start. Thursday's also at 7:05. That's the Independence Blue Cross fireworks show after the game. That one's already sold out, but you can purchase tickets for tomorrow's ball game by logging on to Phillies.com. Well, here's the pitcher, Aaron Harang, who's hitting 125 this season. He has 4 hits and 32 at bats. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
J Happ in the 3rd inning is sitting on his potential for his career high if he can get the pitcher here.
He had 5 strikeouts in his last outing against the Braves, and then 5 earlier this season against the Nationals. And they wanted an appeal, but the first base umpire, Ron Culpa, says no swing. Opposite way, a base hit for Harang, and Worth picks it up in right field, and he thought about throwing to first, and Ryan Howard wasn't there, and you know what? They would have had him at first base, I think. Jason came up and he was ready to fire.
And Harang did run the ball out too. He wasn't just loafing down the line. You can see him kind of smile a little bit. He saw what was going to have the potential to happen here. There he hits it, and he runs right away. Here comes Jason Worth. And he did not, I guess, as you said, Tom, did not feel Ryan Howard was in position to catch that, so he held on to it.
Yeah, Ryan was a few steps off the bag and was kind of just lingering there, looking at Jason. So here's Taveras, who shows butt, bunts it right back toward the mound. Happ has to hurry. Perfect technique, and the inning is over. 1-3 on the putout. The Reds get a base hit, but that runner's stranded at first. We've played 2.5, and J Happ has a 2-0 lead. Ready when you are. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And buy Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, last of the third inning here to sold-out crowd. Jay Happ has struck out 5 so far through the first 3 innings. He's allowed a couple of base hits, but he's been pretty efficient out on the mound. He's picked up right where the starters have left off in the previous 4 games on this homestand. And it's a gorgeous night here in South Philadelphia. See the skyline in the background.
Wind's blowing out to right field, left to right. Nice wind out of the northwest. Normally when it comes out of the northwest, it's cold. And all it is making for beautiful weather here lately. And the ball will carry to right and right center tonight.
Well, folks enjoying the night, enjoying the views here at the ballpark. And as we head to the bottom of the third, we head to the top of the order, and Jimmy Rollins leads things off. Jimmy struck out his first time up. Mentioned before that Jimmy is riding a 5-game hitting streak. What makes it so impressive is that during the 5, he has 4 multi-hit games.
Yeah. And you see it where his average is.
Line drive, base hit. And it's a 6-game hitting streak.
It's really hard to make your batting average move at this time of the year with that many at bats. And you know, it's going to be one of those things where he's not going to be able to hit for much of an average this year, but it's how you got there. Speaking about some other hitters that are clicking on all cylinders, how about the T Mac attack with the Phillies broadcaster's son leads out? You were keeping us informed on that game last night. You were pretty excited about your son there. Huh?
Yeah, my son Tommy, boy, I'll tell you what, he had a day that I don't think many people have ever had before.
That's great.
I know I certainly never had it. He had 2 home runs last night. As Victorino lines one off the glove of Edwin Encarnacion, that's going to be a base hit.
And he made a great play in the outfield.
A great play in the outfield. Yep.
Well, there's one of those situations that you talk about when you play out on a hitter like a Victorino. He can shoot a ball by. Well, in that case, it almost looked like Encarnacion was going to rob him. That ball was hit really hard. And all Encarnacion can do is dive, and it looked like it fooled him and kicked off the heel of the glove. He probably should have caught it.
Guy's a good defensive third baseman, too, and he's made some very good plays over the years.
So when's the next game?
Well, Thursday night. They're in the losers bracket in the District 12 tournament in Mercer County. That's a pretty good team. There's a lot of home runs being hit in Little League, Wheels. Holy cow.
They're going to be talking about checking the balls pretty soon.
Yeah. There's going to be a humidor all over the country for Little League baseball.
Well, I can picture your son hitting a homer. He's not a little guy.
No, he's not. Well, they have a very good team, and I'll tell you, there's some really good teams in that district.
And Patrick, he's a big boy too.
0-1, the pitch line, fair ball down the right field line, shoots off the fence in foul territory. Rollins is going to score. Victorino being held at third, and the Phillies lead it 3-0. 3 straight hits for the top of the order. The 17th double of the year for Chase. And he now has 60 RBIs on the season.
That's what you like to see, a young guy learn how to keep score. Always did that when you were a kid. And you see him give a little cheer there after he wrote down what happened, and he gave a little fist clench like, yeah, that's my guy. Here it is, and it ball just fair. Good call by Ron Kolpa. Good job by right field ball girl to get out of the way. And you mentioned the top of the order, that Jimmy and Shane didn't do something for the first time in a while in the first inning. Well, they're back at it in the third, Tommy.
Well, they sure are. It's still nobody out. Runners on second and third. Here's Ryan Howard, who homered his first time up. And with the infield back, Ryan fouls the first pitch off.
Somebody couldn't quite hold on to one off to our left, but that was a screamer. Fanatics acting like, how couldn't you catch that? Easy. That ball was a bullet. Fanatics right below us. What a shot I could get at him right now.
0-2 the count to Howard.
Ryan trying to get a ball in the air right now. All he has to do is hit a ground ball. You get a run in, you get another runner to the third, and maybe a sacrifice fly to get him in.
Getting everybody behind the Phils there, Wheels.
Yep, he's good at that.
1-2 the count to Howard. If you had some silly string right now, I bet you can get him.
You know, you're going to lose. You're going to lose with him. So
that's true.
No, it's like having a snake in a cage. You're putting a stick near it. Just leave it alone.
This is what Wheels is talking about. The Fanatic got him the other day.
That's awful.
Player caught in Spider-Man's web.
Stuff was cold.
Ryan lays off 2-2 to count. He just whacked that young lady. I don't even think he realized it with his feather.
She's laughing. They're having a great time with him down there.
Pretty good at bat here by Ryan Howard. He's worked the count full 3-2. And on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, good news from Citi Field. Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers lead the Mets 3-0. Manny Ramirez has 2 RBIs. Dodgers are 22-8 when Manny's in the lineup, but he's in there again tonight. Boy, that's a heck of an at-bat by Ryan Howard. Those are some tough pitches.
It was, Tom, especially when you consider he chased early and got behind. Then he started taking those sliders. And that was a tough 3-2 slider he just threw him that he took.
Well, Dick Pohl's headed out to the mound. He has worn a path out to the mounds these last 3 games, 2 of which have been played here in Philadelphia.
Here's what Jason did. See, that was a fastball that was supposed to be away, and it came right back in the middle of the plate. And he had a real good swing at it, just like he did last night. Of course, that was off Giannis last night. He was a shortstop, a position player, but that one was off Aaron Harang. And that's one of the better swings you're going to see Jason get. Probably really happy with that one.
Well, and Wheels, we talked about it before as Dick Pohl goes back to the dugout. That home run for Jason gives him 18 on the year and 51 RBIs. I mean, think about the production the Phillies have gotten from Chase Utley, who has 60 RBIs, Ryan Howard, who has 62, Jason, who has 51, Raul Ibanez, who has 59 RBIs. Well, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
They're a pretty good offensive team when they're clicking.
Well, the base is loaded. The Reds have decided with nobody out to play the infield back.
Oh, yeah, they gladly take 2 outs for a run here. They did add a pitcher today and take a position player off the roster because they just need another arm in their bullpen, but nobody's up.
The Reds today added Robert Manuel, a relief pitcher from AAA. And they got rid of Drew Sutton, a backup infielder. So as Wheel said, they have just 4 players on the bench if need be, but an extra pitcher in that bullpen, which has been overworked the last couple of games. Jason opened up a little bit there, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, that was a pull-off swing. And you see Jason wants to know whether or not he swung at a strike. He was really closed and went into that fastball that he hit out of the ballpark last night.
So the bases were loaded. Victorino, Utley, and Howard all the way around. And Jason's down on strikes. A little bit of heat from Harang. And he has 4 strikeouts.
You don't want to let him get away without adding something else here now. Even just a fly ball and you get 1 more.
Dobbs flied out to center field his first time up. Talked to Greg a little bit today about his resurgence. We talked about it last night that on May 31st he was hitting 132. And now, as you just saw, his batting average is 268. And he has good numbers with the bases loaded.
Hit that grand slam against the Mets a few years ago at the Shea Stadium.
Because I asked him today, I said, you know, back in May, did you look at your batting average and say, I don't know how the heck I'm going to get it up? I mean, look at the progression.
Well, and the difference with Greg and Jimmy Rollins.
There's a pop up on the infield. That's going to cause the umpires to rule infield fly. 2 outs. Difference is at bats more than anything else.
Right. So his average is able to jump a lot higher and faster because he didn't have as many at bats.
Well, the Phillies will see the National League Central once again on July 20th when the Chicago Cubs come to town for a 3-game series. 2 night games, and then the day game is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special on the 22nd at 1:05. Following the game, the Modell Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com.
Huge spot in this game for the Reds and Aaron Harang.
And for Pedro Feliz, and it's a cue shot back to Harang, and he's going to get out of a bases-loaded jam. And he allows just 1 run here in the 3rd inning. So Harang does some pretty good pitching. Phil Strand, the bases loaded. We've played 3. Phillies lead it by 3. June was 5-0 with a 1.76 ERA for Reading. He has 11 wins this year. And Steven Susdorf from the Clearwater Threshers, what a month he had. .390 batting average with 2 homers and 18 RBIs. So congratulations to them. And they are the Phillies minor league players of the month for the month of June. Well, here in the top of the 4th inning, Jay Happ has a 3-0 lead to work with. He already has 5 strikeouts in the game, and he'll face Jerry Hairston, Joey Votto, and Brandon Phillips. Hairston flied out to first base his first time up, a little looper to Ryan Howard. And he's playing shortstop for the injured Alex Gonzalez. And he's done a nice job for Dusty Baker since he took over at short. He's hitting over 300 during that time, and this kid is a very versatile ball player. On the hands, a fly ball to left field. Dobbs on the run. He's not going to get there. Hairston takes a big turn around first. And he's got a leadoff single here in the top of the 4th. And Dobbs took a kind of an odd route to that ball. He wasn't hit that sharply. And it's only the 3rd hit of the night for Cincinnati. And Gary Matthews joins us here at the top of the 4th. And Sarge, you were a left fielder. Sometimes these balls are tough to judge.
Yeah, you're listening for the sound of it, but he took a little step back, kind of, and then came in. If he reads it right away, maybe he has a better chance to catch it. Well, that usually when that ball is hit, if you don't hear that little really loud crack, you know that you can come on in on it. That ball was hit off the hands. You know that. Dobbs hasn't been out there, though, a whole lot, but usually your outfielders will listen for the crack of the bat.
Toss over to first. Now that sound was more like a thud.
So that means that you got to be coming in. You know the ball isn't hit hard. I think what really fooled him is when the ball was kind of taking off. as if it maybe was going to get over his head. He took one step back and wasn't able to recover on it.
Votto lays off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's take a listen to the Jerry Hairston Jr. single.
You see that ball came in on him. And nothing anyone can do, though. If you get a good jump, you end up catching that.
And there's a different sound to, let's say, the home runs that Ryan Howard and Jason Worth hit.
Oh, altogether. Altogether. More of a hollow type of a sound. The balls that Ryan hit and Jason hit, you don't feel those coming off the bat. The one that Hairston hit, it hurts you and jars your hands.
Count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Votto. Jay Happ has struck out 5 tonight, and one of those strikeout victims was Votto back in the first. He's gotten 4 Reds hitters swinging on strikes, 1 looking. That was Johnny Gomes.
Happ has thrown the ball inside, pitching inside. Again, he's been throwing a lot of high fastballs. He's gotten 4 strikeouts on fastballs and 1 on a changeup.
That's in the air to left center field. Dobbs should have an easier play on this one, and does, and he puts it away. So 1 out here at the top of the 4th inning. Hey, Saturday, July 11th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on the floor of the Spectrum. How about this? Enjoy deep discounts on merchandise from not only the Phillies, but also the Sixers and the Flyers. There'll be jerseys, caps, apparel, playoff merchandise, and more. You can visit Phillies.com for more information. And the Philly Fanatic, well, he's going to be on hand as well. Again, it's Saturday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And why not head to the Spectrum one more time before that great old building is taken down?
Are you going to attend that day? Or bring the popcorn, maybe?
I might stop by there before our game this Saturday.
Why not? Yeah, we like different jerseys, hats, and so on.
You gonna bring some of your hats over there?
I'll probably wear one, I would think.
No, to sell them.
No, I won't be up that early. Starting at 10 a.m.
What about 3 p.m. or?
I'll be up then.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
No balls and 1 strike to count to Phillips, who struck out his first time up.
Notice how Phillips is actually waving that bat. Again, that's his mechanism to get ready to hit the ball. And then once the pitcher starts to throw the ball, you'll see him stop and kind of get into more of a hitter's type of approach. And he'll start to wiggle that ball, and that's just really just to keep you a little bit loose. There he goes.
Well, he was loose on that swing. That's deep to right field. Jason Worth going back, and that one is gone. 2-run opposite field home run for Brandon Phillips. The 10th of the year given up by Jay Happ. And the Phillies lead is to 1. It's now 3-2.
Yeah, that's the danger that you run in when you're throwing high fastballs. He's been able to get away with it so far. That ball out over the plate. Brandon Phillips showing you power to the opposite field. Now look what Ruiz is asking. We're talking about wanting it down. Now watch where it is. See you later when it's up there. And you can see, though, he was going that way the whole time. Hitters that on that right side that's going to right center and the right field just makes him that much better of a hitter. You stay on the ball longer.
Well, that's now 12 home runs, 55 runs batted in for Brandon Phillips. Now 1 away with the bases empty, and the count is no balls and 1 strike to Johnny Gomes.
Boy, that's huge right there, especially having the bases loaded, nobody out, gives you an indication of what kind of pitcher Harang is, and he is a guy that gives you all he has. But you would expect to get at least another 1 or if not 2 out of that situation just by hitting the ball on the opposite field.
Yeah, the Phillies in their half of the third had scored a run And the bases loaded, nobody out. Harang was able to get Jason Worth, Greg Dobbs, and Pedro Phillips to finish off that inning. There's a fine play by Phillips deep at third. And there are 2 outs now in the 4th. That home run that Happ allowed was the 10th of the year that he surrendered. He's done a pretty good job of keeping the ball in the yard in 77 innings of work.
And Phillips had been trying to pull that ball. He would have popped it up, but he was actually going the other way. He threw it in that spot up in the zone, and he drove it. You can get away pitching up, but when that ball is hit, it's going to be usually hit hard and out of the ballpark. That's why you want him pitching low in the zone.
Line drive caught by Pedro, and the inning is over. Well, he was frozen in his tracks there on that liner. Now the Reds get 2 on the 2-run home run by Brandon Phillips. So we have played 3.5. There's the homer by Phillips. Bottom of the order is due up for the Phils in the home 4th. Most fuel-efficient midsize. Drive one today. And buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. You must be 18 or older to play, and please play responsibly. Sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park enjoying tonight's ball game. Phillies lead it by 1, 3-2, as they will go back to work against Aaron Harang. It'll be Carlos Ruiz, Jay Happ, and then the top of the order. Carlos is down in the count 0-1. Sarge, I know they talk about the Phillies lineup that they can get away with Carlos swinging the way he's swinging right now because his defense is so good. But what's so different than, let's say, the month of May or even the beginning part of June for Carlos?
Well, it's simple. He's been not having a good approach as of late. He's been bailing on the ball, and a lot of times he'll sit right before he gets ready to hit. The pitch that he actually struck out on in that second inning, he did the same thing.
Now, when you say sit,
well, he just kind of crouches down a little when he gets ready to hit. He's supposed to be actually going and keeping that shoulder right toward the pitcher. When he's winding up and showing you his backside, you got to show him yours. But you got to stay in there.
In the air to straightaway center field. That's pretty well struck. Taveras going back to the warning track to the wall, and it's off the wall. Ruiz around second already, heading to third. Bruce will get it in, and Carlos has a lead-off triple. First triple since August of 2007. Did he sit that time?
Well, he got some extension that time and drove that ball straightaway center field off the wall, turning Taveras around. Taveras getting caught close to the fence. Now look how close he gets to the fence. As the ball hits the fence, he didn't know exactly where it was. That ends up being the triple. Take a look at this stroke here. You see he's staying up a lot more there. Big difference as he drives the ball.
Well, now Jay Happ is going to try to get him home from third with the infield halfway up the middle. And even with the bags on the corners, Happ struck out looking his first time up. See the alignment, so the infielder is going to come home if Ruiz decides to go.
Well, there's no way he's going to be going on contact right now with nobody out and the leadoff hitter coming up next.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals lead the Brewers 3-0 in the top of the first inning. Ryan Ludwig, a 3-run home run for St. Louis. The Cardinals lead the Central by a game over Milwaukee. Giovanni Gallardo starting in that one for the Brewers. And Happ pops it up foul. They'll be back into the seats. 2-2 the count. Gallardo has been the ace this year for Milwaukee. They were pretty unhappy when he was not named to the All-Star team with an ERA below 3 with 8 wins.
Well, there's always going to be some unhappy players or players that should have made it and did not.
Carlos on third, Jimmy on deck. And the count 3-2 to Jay Happ. And Jay stays alive.
Boy, what a good swing. Jay giving him a battle. Rang another one of those pitchers that pitches high in the zone. He does have a sinker, however, and also a cutter, but he will throw a lot of high fastball.
Good breaking ball there, and Jay's down on strikes for the second time. Time to take a look at our Firestone leaders. And just looking back at last night's ball game between the Phils and the Reds, the 22 runs that the Phillies scored. How about that? 26 is the most. The 22 is the 5th most in Phillies history. 23 against the Pirates, the Cubs twice, and 22 and 79. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. That was pretty impressive last night. Jimmy Rollins hits sharply to second. Phillips bobbles, but Ruiz holds. And he wasn't going on contact there.
Surprised at that. Really surprised he's not going on contact. Sam going over to actually say a little something to him. And that's the reason you go on contact. Just in the event the ball is bobbled, if it is, you got another run.
But that's not Carlos's decision, or is it?
No, it is not. Usually that comes from the manager, and that sign that, hey, we're going on contact here. So that means wherever that ball is hit, you're taking off and running.
Victorino 1 for 2 in this game. He now has 5 hits in 2 ball games.
Just take a look at this play right now. You can see that that ball bobbled just a little bit, but again, just if he's not going right away, you're not going to be able to make it. If you're going on contact, you can make it.
He wasn't too far off that third base bag.
And usually you will do that with 1 out.
And Shane, a slow roller towards shortstop. Hairston has to hurry. He does. Dug out by Votto, and the inning is over. Phillies strand one at third. They got the leadoff triple by Carlos Ruiz and couldn't score. We've played 4, and the Phillies lead is still at 1. 2 runs, and it seemed like everything went right. They were 10 for 15 with runners in scoring position. And here we are tonight. We're going to the top of the 5th inning, and they've already stranded 5, including the bases loaded once. And they got a leadoff triple from Carlos Ruiz in the bottom of the 4th inning, and he didn't score. Yeah. It's just the game of baseball, Sarge.
That's and that's big too. Off of the really good pitchers, you want to be able to capitalize when you can, and you don't need a hit to get a run.
Well, Jay Happ goes to work here at the top of the 5th, and that's how things are going for Jay Bruce. He tries to bunt his way on, and the count is 0-1. There's a guy with 18 home runs and 41 RBIs, and he's trying to bunt his way on to start the 5th inning.
Yeah, and those are the guys that you really don't want trying to bunt to get on, just because, again, it's warm, the conditions are warm, and he's the guy that you're counting on to be able to supply some power. You know, Taveras bunting, didn't think that was a good play with 2 outs after the pitcher got on.
0-2 the count. Well, Sarge, I know you're good friends with Dusty Baker, and he had obviously a rough night last night for the Reds. I'm sure you got a chance to talk to him a little bit. And you've been around this game for a long time. And what did he say about last night?
Well, he wasn't really in a talking mood, to tell you the truth.
Well, there's a career high 6 strikeouts now for Jay Happ.
But I tell you, there were a lot of fans, though, that were coming up and asking me the score of the game, one after the other.
While you were with him?
Oh, yeah. And I said, well, you know what? I'm with the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, and their response, so what? Was it 20-something?
It would have been better if they asked him.
Oh, boy.
Breaking ball in there for Edwin Encarnacion. It's 0-1. But seriously, I read a lot of his quotes last night, and he said it was, one of the worst games that he's ever seen. But, I guess he's been around long enough to know that you have to turn the page, too.
Oh, absolutely. You've been on both sides, he has. But the fact is, it's only one game. You get beat by that many runs, but it's still only one game in the standings.
1-2 the count. Now on the flip side for Charlie Manuel, the Phillies manager, he kind of said the same thing after last night's ball game.
Well, Charlie's pretty even keel in knowing that even though you score a lot of runs, that next day is always a big challenge. And not because the guys aren't trying. It's just that it's a game of baseball.
Well, last year the Phillies scored 20 runs in a ball game against the St. Louis Cardinals, and the next day scored only 2 runs. And the day after that, lost a game to the Cardinals in extra innings, and folks were kind of flying high after that 20-run performance, and Phillies were unable to kind of carry it over the next couple of days.
With all those hits, I mean, you get a little full of yourself, but you realize, though, it is another night. And you put away what you've done the previous night and trying to score more runs for J.A. Happ.
It's sharply foul, and Mark Perry, the third base coach, makes a pretty nice play. Not only on that ground ball, but also on giving it to that little fan.
Well, that ball got in on him. You can see that fastball. One hands it. I used to like to just let those balls go by. Didn't like bending down for them.
Line drive to left field, a base hit for Encarnacion. And he's aboard with a 1-out single here in the top of the 5th. They finished the Phillies game with Greg Murphy and the most extensive game breakdown. Get the expert analysis of former Phillies closer Mitch Williams, plus exclusive player reactions with Leslie Goodell on Sloan Toyota presents Phillies postgame live after the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Saw Mitch today. He was at the ballpark, taking in batting practice, talking to some of the players.
The wild thing.
Yeah.
Know him all too well. Last big league hit for me in the major leagues was off of the wild thing.
No kidding, really?
Yes, sir.
Who was he pitching for at that time? You were with Seattle.
He was pitching for Texas.
Texas Rangers.
And I proceeded to take my lead, and he picked me off. Game over. That was it.
Ryan bunts it in the air, foul, so it's 0-2. Have you reminded him that he was the last person that you got
Oh,
a base hit?
yeah, he knows that.
Does he also remember the fact he picked you up?
Obviously. Pitchers are like elephants when it comes to that. They never remember the good stuff.
You mean the bad stuff?
Oh, the good stuff for me, hitting the home run. That's the good stuff.
I forgot, it's the way you look at it.
Always got to be aware of the slug bunt, where he fakes the bunt and then swings the bat. He'll hold the bat out in front as if he's going to bunt in the last minute, pull it back, and try and slap it on the ground.
Infield's moving. He bunts it to the right side. Howard's got it. And the sacrifice is successful. And 3-4 as Encarnacion goes up to second base.
Now, don't know if Howard had a chance to get him at second base, but if you're not sure, go on and take that out. Yeah, it's a lot better than having two runners there. You can see that ball bunted. The ball bunted hard. That's why you think you had a chance, and he did. He did have a chance to be able to throw and get him, but not having the confidence there. Underhand is there to first and takes the out.
So with the 1-run lead, the Phillies have 2 outs, and now the top of the order, Willie Taveras, the batter. He's 1 for 2. Midfield single his first time up. Try to bunt his way on his last time up. Took a little off that one.
Good changeup.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Manny Ramirez has another hit, and the Dodgers have another run. They lead the Mets 5-0 in the top of the 4th inning. Phillies were 4.5 games ahead of New York coming into play tonight, 5 ahead of the Atlanta Braves, and 2 ahead of Florida. That's off the end of the bat behind home plate. Ruiz tosses the mask aside, and Jay Happ works out of this 5th inning. Reds got a runner in scoring position, but that's where he still stands. We've played 4.5. Phillies lead it 3-2 with Chase Utley leading it off. Of the championship trophies won by Pennsylvania teams on hand to show off not only the World Series trophy, but of course the Super Bowl trophy won by the Steelers and the Stanley Cup trophy won by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sarge, apparently somewhere between 6,500 and 7,000 people passed through the Capitol and the Rotunda to get a look at those 3 trophies. Pretty impressive.
Well, you don't always get that opportunity, and to be able to take pictures, I don't know how many people were able to do that, but that would have been a keeper.
Well, you can see the whole report tonight on Sports Night at 10 o'clock. Michael Barkan was there, and I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive. And Governor Ed Rendell very proud of the 3 championships that the city of Philadelphia And the city of Pittsburgh won over the last year. Chase Utley leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th. And the other thing too, Villanova went to the Final Four in college basketball. A lot to be said for that.
Well, it's great though too for the fans even here, because all the teams are really competing, making it to the playoffs without winning it, and puts the pressure on other teams that haven't won, especially right here in Philadelphia.
Chase stays alive as he hits that one foul. There remains no balls and 2 strikes. Chase is 2 for 2. RBI double his last time up. This has been a good month for the Phillies offense. We saw before the numbers. They're averaging over 6 runs per game here in the month of July. But they have also, this is what Charlie Manuel likes, they put together some good at-bats, and they're hitting .280 as a team as compared to the .259 average they had coming in overall for the year. Chase is a big reason why. They've also hit 9 home runs here in the month of July.
They're still looking for Howard really to get hot and start driving the ball. He had a great at bat on that walk. His last at bat, he usually swings at that pitch, that slow slider in. That's a tough pitch to lay off of. See what Harang does. He pitches high, 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 and then he has you elevate your eyes, then he brings you back down again, and he's in and out. And he doesn't get nervous, obviously, with men on base.
Chase hits it hard, a one-hopper backhanded by Phillips. He throws him out, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Utley's retired for the first time. All right, Sarge. Step into the shoes of Ryan Howard in this at bat. He's got the walk his last time up, the home run his first time up. As he's digging in here, and if you were digging in, what are you looking for right now on this first pitch from Harang?
I'm looking fastball that would be out over the plate. He's been pitching him in most of the time.
Took a little off that one, and Ryan fouls it off. It's 0-1.
And again, that breaking ball that's up in the zone, even if you're looking fastball, you got slow feet. The one that's up in the zone you can hit. The one that's breaking down hard, that's the one that will keep you off balance as he comes inside again.
Now that fastball was up and away. He wanted it inside. It's 1-1. All right, take me through it again. 1-1. What are you looking for here?
I am looking again. I'm just going to stay hard again. And he is coming inside again. And usually for a hitter, if he's looking in, he's going to be able to hit that pitch. The one that would be away would be the one that would be difficult to hit. And they'll go hard with Ryan, and then they'll go soft.
And he's called out on strikes. 85-mile-an-hour changeup from Aaron Harang.
Yep. Well, just check the sequence out here on Howard. Got a breaking ball. That was the hittable pitch. High fastball as it goes away. Fastball in, the one we talked about, and then soft away.
Well, 2 quick outs here in the home 5th. Jason Worth 1 for 2. He homered his first time up. And he works ahead 1-0.
There's Harang. He's the type of pitcher. He'll eat up innings for you. No, they haven't been scoring a lot of runs for this guy. And he's a pretty good pitcher in the league. Again, not a very hard thrower, but he has pretty good location. But as a hitter, don't mind hitting against him because, again, he's around the plate and he usually gives you something to hit.
Jason thought that was a little outside. Mike DeMuro thought a little longer about it before he called it a strike, and it's 1-2.
Big difference too between 1-2 and 2-1. When you have that 1 ball 2 strikes, you're not as aggressive. You can see that particular swing there on Worth, where he just kind of pecked at the ball a little bit that was going outside. .90 pitches for Harang so far here tonight. Now with Jason, they like to start him in, and then keep the ball away. But when you miss away, he's been making those pitchers pay for it and driving the ball out of the ballpark. That's what happens when you miss your spots.
Lays off on the 3-2. They do appeal. No swings is Ron Kolpa. And it's a 2-out walk. And Jason's done a lot of that lately. He's gotten a number of walks. Let's see what he does with Dobbs at the plate. You know, Harang's times to the plate are not that quick. And Jason can get himself into scoring position rather easily early in the count.
Yeah, well, he would want to try and steal that base. The earlier, the better. Greg Dobbs had a great opportunity with the bases loaded. 1 out. Popped up to the second baseman.
Tonight, Raul Ibanez is making another rehab start. This one for Lehigh Valley. They're losing to Pawtucket at this moment in the 5th inning, 6-2. And the anticipation is that Raul could be back as long as everything's okay with his groin sometime in the next few days. Dobbs stands in, and he takes a fastball outside.
Well, there's no reason to rush him back, especially with the days coming up for the All-Star if he's not completely well. But I'm sure he's going to be, because he's going to want to play in that All-Star game.
Raul tonight 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a walk, a run scored for the Iron Pigs. Dobbs out in front, 1-1 the count.
Harang kind of rocks back a little bit before he gets ready to throw the ball or deliver it to home plate. Davey Lopes has the times on how long it takes the ball to get to home plate. Usually if it's 1-1, you're not going to go 1-2. 1-3, 1-4, you usually take off.
That one hit sharply and right under the shoes of Jason Worth. He'll stop at second base, and Dobbs has a 5-game hitting streak. The Phillies now with runners on first and second with 2 away. And again, they've got base runners. And let's see if they can cash in with Pedro Feliz.
One of the things they're doing, they continue to put pressure on Harang by keeping runners on the bases.
So they're in need of a 2-out base hit with a runner in scoring position. Feliz singled his first time up, so he's 1 for 2. He got one off the end of the bat his last time up, a little roller to Harang.
Well, Feliz has been doing a great job at hitting that ball to right field and keeping it on the line. Has not been bailing as much this year as he has last year.
Pulls it toward the hole at shortstop, cut off by Encarnacion, and the inning is over. So the Phillies, through the first 5 innings tonight, have stranded 7 runners, including 2 here in the 5th. And Harang has danced in and out of trouble this entire evening. with his new club. Finally, Ryan Howard returns for his second All-Star appearance, and he will do it in his own backyard. The gateway to the West is open for the Phillies, and it is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, again, you can vote for Shane Victorino to join Raul Ibanez, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard as the 33rd player for the National League team. You can vote until 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. And the governors of Hawaii and Pennsylvania have a little bit of a challenge going right now as Jerry Hairston Jr. leads it off here at the top of the 6th inning. We can see the Vote Shane shirts all over the ballpark. Got the Lays as well, and the fans are getting into it. I mean, I was out today down at Center City, right near City Hall, and a lot of folks saying, I already voted a ton of times. As Hairston sends it in the air to left center field. It's pretty deep. Victorino on the run. That's one of the reasons why you want to vote for him. He's a Gold Glover, and he's closing quickly on all of those balls, and that's a nice play right there.
Well, he's actually learned how to play center field after playing right field, and played a good right field. And center field is an easier position to play simply because you can see the ball coming right at you as he goes there. Slow down, make an easy catch out of it.
So 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Votto the batter. Anyway, the governors in Pennsylvania, of course, the Honorable Governor Ed Rendell and Linda Langle, who's the governor of Hawaii, have a bet going. Friendly bet, friendly wager on which state can show more support for Shane Victorino. And if Hawaii shows more support than the folks here in Pennsylvania, which I can't imagine, then Governor Rendell sent some cheesesteaks to Hawaii. And if Pennsylvania shows more support, then the governor of Hawaii will send some pineapples over here to Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, what do you think?
I can't imagine that the state of Pennsylvania, as great as Hawaii is, would lose that battle.
I'm going with Hawaii.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Kidding me? Hometown hero.
There's a check swing roller to shortstop. J-Roll's got to hurry, and Votto's retired. Good play. 2 outs. Well, anyway, the vote is on. And I'm sure this is happening all over the National League and American League for the 10 players who are up for the final spots in the National League and the American League.
And keep in mind, Shane does a lot of things here for the people in Hawaii, in his home country. Visible. And you know he likes to talk. I mean, he'll talk to just about anybody.
Brandon Phillips hit a 2-run home run his last time up and happens to hit 0-1. Phillips has struck out. His home run was an opposite field shot, his 12th of the year. And that one's in the air to left field. It's deep. Dobbs going back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone. How about that? The second home run of the night for Phillips, and he's just tied this game up at 3 apiece.
Well, when they're messing around inside, the guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, you see that young fan with it. Yeah, he throws it back.
I didn't think he would.
Oh, yes, he did. Following the tradition, as you can see, the second home run of the game for Brandon Phillips. Fastball inside, see you later, didn't get in. It didn't get out by a lot, but it got out.
Now the 5th multi-home run game of the career for Brandon Phillips. So we're even at 3 here in the top of the 6th. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to Johnny Gomes. Gomes has been a strikeout victor tonight, 1 of 6 for Happ, which is a career high.
He keeps challenging Brandon Phillips with fastballs. He's a fastball hitter. Don't get it in a good spot. You know, this guy's not going to bail at the plate. You know, he's going to and he swings hard to boot.
Lindsay making that young fan awfully happy with a free souvenir. He's not only happy, but his buddies are happy too. 1-2 the count to Gomes. Off the mound. And Chase retires Gomes to finish this inning off. But the Reds have tied it up. A solo home run by Brandon Phillips. He's provided the spark offensively against Jay Happ as we go to the bottom of the 6th. By McDonald's, introducing new Angus burgers made with juicy 100% Angus beef, available with premium toppings in 3 varieties, just $3.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Chevy dealers. Oh, beautiful night in Philadelphia. It's carried over to the ballpark here at South Philly. In a 3-3 game, Carlos Ruiz leads it off in the bottom of the 6th. Carlos tripled his last time up, his 4th career triple, but was stranded at 3rd. He did that to start the 4th inning. Phillies have not had the timely hitting tonight that they had last night, despite the fact that they already have 9 hits in this game.
And the little things that you do in the game, again, by being able to execute runners on 3rd base, makes it easier for you.
Orang has hit 100 pitches and passed it. So he's at 101 tonight.
And knowing that Baker does not want to go to that bullpen, looks like he's not going to have a choice.
Ruiz in the air to left center field. Gomes has plenty of room as he comes in. And Carlos is retired to start the 6th.
Yeah, he just missed from hitting that ball out of the ballpark. Pretty good swing, though.
The Phillies do have Chan Ho Park loosening in the pen. He's starting to stretch, but with nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Charlie's decided to let Jay Happ bat. Carlos may have gotten on or gotten into scoring position probably. Maybe he would have made a decision to pinch hit for him, but even at that point, he may have just allowed Happ to move him up with a sacrifice.
He's been pitching pretty good. I mean, he's made the mistakes to the best hitter on the Reds team. That's why Phillips is hitting in that 4 spot. Bono is a good hitter too, but again, he's been handling him from that left side fairly well.
Half behind, 1 ball and 2 strikes. and got a piece of Hernandez. You know, Harang has pitched J. Happ pretty tough tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it hasn't just been one fastball after another. I mean, it's been a fastball, some changeups, definitely some hooks. I mean, he's not taking any chances with J. Happ.
Well, he's gone right at him, and J. Happ has been battling them and having really good at bats.
Skips off the dugout. And J. Happ stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A line drive caught by Phillips. And Happ thought he had his second base hit of the season and of his big league career. Boy, Phillips have been in just another step or 2. So 2 outs. Oh, looking back on July 4th, 2006, there's Aaron Rowan with a game-winning hit against the San Diego Padres. It brought home Ryan Howard, and there's that gentleman with his grandson. Such a great shot. And, you know, folks keep on coming back here to Citizens Bank Park year after year, and oh, how about that?
Wow.
There's that same grandfather with his grandson, and now they're here to support not only the Phillies but also Shane Victorino. That is the great thing about Citizens Bank Park, is that once you come one time, you're latched on for good.
No doubt.
Nearly 3 years to the day. As Jimmy has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jimmy's 1 for 3. There's going to come a point very soon where Granddad is not going to be able to toss his grandson up in the air like he was doing after that Aaron Rowan base hit. On the inside corner, J-Roll is rung up for the final out here of the 6th inning, and he knew it. 7th strikeout for Aaron Harang. Phils go down in order for the first time in this ball game. It's a 3-3 score.
Well, 3-3 game as we go to the 7th inning. Phillies know it should not be a 3-3 game. The bases loaded, nobody out, a man on third and nobody out, and they did not score any runs. And the Reds, well, they've answered back with 3 unanswered runs, and we're tied up. Home runs in this game. Howard and Worth back-to-back for the Phils, and Phillips has the 2 home runs, Brandon Phillips, and he's knocked in all 3 runs for the Cincinnati Reds. So here we go to the 7th, all tied up, Tommy.
Well, another good outing by a Phil's starting pitcher. Happ has allowed just 3 runs over the first 6 innings of this ball game, facing Ramon Hernandez to start off the top of the 7th inning. So that means that over the last 5 games, the starters have gone 6 1/3, 6 1/3, 7 1/3, 7, and now 6+ for Jay Happ in tonight's ball game. Howard will give it a look. The count is 0-2. You know, if you're Rich Doobie, the Phillies pitching coach, he was probably wondering, when things would, kind of settle down for his starting staff and even for the bullpen for that matter. And maybe they're showing signs as we hit the midway point of the season that things are settling down a little bit.
Yeah, and certainly hope so, because that's the way they're going to be able to win. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Cole Hamels went 7 strong last night. Jamie Moyer, who will start Thursday's game for the Phillies against these Reds.
Those 2 guys, boy, oh boy, they, you talk to Jamie Moyer. Jamie Moyer said he learned a little bit from Cole Hamels sometimes about changeups, and Cole Hamels has learned so much from Jamie. They've really helped each other, and especially the older guy helping the younger guy.
Well, and I think you could say the same about Jay Happ. And we even watched Jamie talking to Rodrigo Lopez after the last ball game that Lopez pitched, which was so good on Friday night.
And he will pitch here Thursday.
253 career wins for Jamie. And the count 3-2 to Hernandez. One of the other telling stats for those 3 and Rodrigo Lopez and Jay Happ is the fact that the opposition coming into today hitting just .242 against the Phillies staff. I mean, that's a big deal. That means there's not a lot of extra base runners.
I want to make sure there was a foul ball. She's saying, I know that ball's foul, but I better check it out just in case.
On the inside corner, there's some pretty good pitching right there by Jay Happ. And that's his 7th strikeout of the night. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. One out here in the 7th. Happ now will deal with Jay Bruce, who he's gotten twice on strikes. And he works the first pitch inside, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Reds really like the back of their bullpen, and that's why they didn't use those guys last night and use Giannis in that game.
There's a pop up to left field. Quickly 2 away for Happ.
And you wonder if Encarnacion got on base. You think they would probably hit for Harang, who did an amazing job of hanging in there when he was really on the ropes early in this game, especially in that 3rd inning. It looked like he was going to have to gut it out and give up a bunch of runs.
There is Aaron Harang. He's getting his batting gloves on. But they already have somebody else in the on-deck circle. He may have just been getting his batting gloves just to hang on to them. There's Micah Owings.
How about that, Micah Owings? Pinch hitter Micah Owings. There's Aaron Harang. They only have 4 extra men, but in reality they have 5 because of that guy.
Yeah, Owings is scheduled to start Thursday's game, but he can hit.
Oh, he's a real hitter, especially for a pitcher.
2-1 the count to Encarnacion, who singled his last time up.
Players have that expression when they see a guy in a cage like that, know he's a pitcher, and they swing, they'll go, "There ain't no pitcher's hacks." Well, that guy, he's the epitome of that.
Belize waits for the friendly hop. How about Jay Happ's 7th inning? Retires the Reds in order. He's retired 4 in a row since the second home run by Phillips. We've played 6.5. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia.
Punch. Paid for by the campaign to elect Shane Victorino. Speed you can believe in.
Well, that's great. That promo has been running on Comcast Sportsnet all day long. And the good thing about Shane Victorino, that is, if you want to get a campaign rolling, particularly about himself, I mean, he is so freewheeling and so open that he will make it rather entertaining. And our Geico quote of the day comes from Shane Victorino on being the 33rd player. It's nice, and it's one of those things where now we leave it up to the Philly faithful. I think I have a good chance. I have faith in the fans and what this team is doing right now. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And you see all the folks out there saying, vote for Shane. And, you know, don't underscore what he did last night, because the highlights of that game were all over the place. Yeah. So not only fans in Philadelphia, but fans around the country saw what he did last night and, you know, maybe voted for him over Christian Guzman or Mark Reynolds.
Well, let him go pop one off Arthur Rhodes right now. It'll be even better.
Well, that's the matchup as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Former Philly Arthur Rhodes. He's on for Aaron Harang, who went 6 innings tonight. And Shane, who is 1 for 3. See, Rhodes' 37th game. No wins, no losses. A 1.88 ERA. And look what he's done against lefties. Just a 116 batting average.
Saw Arthur the other day when he came in the ballpark. Excuse me, Tom. We're talking to him about that surgery. And, you know, he wasn't right when he was here, obviously. He couldn't throw strikes consistently. He had that surgery, and he's a different guy now.
Victorino in the air to shallow right field. Jay Bruce coming under it. By the way, that campaign message that Shane just did, that's only part of the message. You can see the rest of it tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time after the ball game on Sports Night. You can also see the Colorado Rockies when they come to Philadelphia on Tuesday, August 4th. It's a 3-game series. It wraps up on Thursday the 6th at 1:05. It's a Citizens Bank Raul Ibanez Pride of the Phillies poster. And a Modell Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases following the game. Purchase your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Chase Utley's 2 for 3. He has singled. He's also doubled home run, grounded out to second base. And a good fastball by Rhodes at 93 miles an hour. And Chase is behind 0-1.
Well, Arthur Rhodes coming in to just pitch the 1 inning. They just put him in that 9-hole. They didn't double switch because they don't expect more. They just want him to. They want him to turn Victorino around and get after these 2 left-handed hitters.
Despite the fact that the Reds gave up 22 runs last night. They didn't need to use Rhodes. They didn't use David Weathers. And they didn't use Francisco Cordero.
Yeah, and that was a game plan for them not to use the back of their bullpen in that blowout game, and that's why Giannis sucked up that inning for them. Jim Leyland used to say when he was with the Pirates, one of the best expressions I ever heard a manager use. He says sometimes you have to know how to lose a game. You're going to lose games, and you can't think you're always going to have comebacks and all that. So you're going to have to lose a game, and you have to use your personnel wisely in that game. You're going to lose, so that next night it doesn't affect your team. Arthur's got good location with his pitches too. Not only is his velocity good with his slider and his fastball, but it looks like he can throw it where he wants to. And when you have a balky elbow, how can you do that?
Yeah, back in 06 with the Phillies, he did pitch in 55 games, but he had an ERA of 5.5.
He had a lot of walks, I think.
30 walks.
Yeah.
That year in 45 2/3 innings. Chase goes after a high pitch, and it's off the glove of Brandon Phillips. Chase around first, thinking about second. He's going to get there. How about that hustle by Chase Utley? And it's not only because of his speed, but Brandon Phillips decided, I'm not going to go after it.
Exactly right. That's a ball player. Maybe that kid will be too, watching that stuff. The lefty. That's Chase Utley. We talked about Roland when he was in town. That's the way Scott Rolen always played, and Chase Utley always plays that way too. He smelled this right away. Brandon Phillips doesn't make the play on that high fastball, and then he doesn't even think about going after it. Taveras was way deep in the outfield in the tie game here, late in the tie game, so he can't get to it. Tremendous play.
Well, they have scored that a double for Chase Utley. How about a little effort? So Chase with his third hit of the night, his second double. He has 18 now this year. And Ryan Howard behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Now Arthur Rhodes this year has only given up 2 home runs. I saw his numbers against left-handed hitters.
Well, they're playing Ryan to pull in the outfield and, of course, in the infield. Got a lot of room in left center field and towards the shortstop area. Sometimes teams will not do that with a left-handed pitcher because the odds are he's going to pitch him away. And, you have a chance to hit the ball to the opposite field when it's away. In this case, Dusty Baker has his defense in a pull defense. There you see it.
Ryan will take a walk as the count is now even 2-2. That got a piece of him. Ryan, as we mentioned yesterday, will be in the home run derby this year at the All-Star game, where he won that home run derby in Pittsburgh. And speaking of the All-Star game, you can catch all the action live from St. Louis on Tuesday, July 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. And don't forget, this one counts because the winner of that game will be on home field advantage in the World Series. To the right side, Chase will move over to third. Ryan wanted a little bit more, and Hairston almost took too much time. 6-3 on the putout. 2 outs with a runner at third base.
Well, now take a 2-out hit, and this is where the Phillies have really failed tonight. They've gotten themselves into 2-out situations because they weren't able to deliver earlier with men on base, and haven't been able to get the guys in.
Well, they've stranded 7 runners on base so far tonight. And of those 7, 4 have been in scoring position. They're going to walk Jason Worth intentionally and deal with Greg Dobbs, have the lefty face the lefty.
And there's no, all of a sudden a right-hander just jumped up. I guess that's David Weathers. There's no right-hander up in the bullpen, which is surprising if they were thinking about doing this, knowing that possibly the Phillies would hit for Dobbs with a right-hander, and it is David Weathers. But he can get ready quickly, I guess.
Pedro Phillips, top step. John Mayberry in the background. See if Charlie puts Mayberry up there for Greg Dobbs. So Worth gets the intentional walk. It's his second walk of the evening. Dobbs is being called back. And Charlie is going to send the rookie up there. Well, at least it seemed like he was going to send the rookie up there. And now Mayberry's going back down the stairs.
That's giving Weathers more time to heat up too. But said he probably doesn't need but just a couple pitches and he'll be ready.
Matt Stairs is looking for his helmet. What do you think's going on here, Wills?
Well, they pulled Dobbs back, so they're going to use a right-handed hitter.
Dusty's waiting. Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, is waiting. It's going to be Eric Bruntlett. So Eric Bruntlett is going to be announced as a pinch hitter here, with 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th inning. What do you think, Wheels? Saving John Mayberry?
Well, the only thing I could think was that he felt that if they bring the right-hander in, Bruntlett maybe had a better chance.
Okay.
And it looks like Rhodes is going to pitch to Bruntlett.
I was wondering if maybe they thought contact from Bruntlett too.
Well, yeah, exactly, against a guy like a Weathers. But it turns out, Dusty, that Baker's going to go this way. You know, that he wants to leave Arthur Rhodes in the game.
Well, Bruntlett works ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. David Weathers continues to warm up. Eric has 10 hits and 69 at bats this year, which equates to a 145 batting average.
If they really wanted to use Weathers, they could have gone out and stalled if they didn't think he was ready.
On the outside corner, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's 1-1. Bruntlett this year is 3 for 18 as a pinch hitter. He has 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter this season. There goes Worth. Pitch is taken low. Hernandez fakes the throw. And that's a stolen base for Jason. 12th stolen base of the year for Worth. Now the Phillies have 2 in scoring position. And they count 2 balls and 1 strike.
Bruntlett has had 1 official at bat off Arthur Rhodes. He's 0 for 1.
.260 career average against lefties. At the knees, 2-2. Not only do the Phillies need a clutch 2-out base hit, they need it with 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Charlie Manuel, Dusty Baker. I think managers probably love this, trying to make the decision on what's going to give the team the advantage. And Bruntlett's down on strikes. No advantage there for the Phillies, and they strand 2 more in scoring position. 9 overall in the game as Arthur Rhodes works a scoreless 7th inning. by a manager.
Well, it seems so obvious. I was thinking, though, that maybe Freddie Hutchinson had done it, but I got to go with Sparky, with the Big Red Machine.
Hall of Famer Sparky Anderson with 863 wins. Of course, a World Championship manager with Cincinnati and a World Championship manager with the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
Well, and with Shane Victorino still vying for that final spot, Phillies are doing everything they can to keep it in the minds of the fans to vote for Shane as the final player for this year's All-Star game, representing the National League. Shane is one of 5 in the National League, and there are 5 in the American League that are battling for that final spot on each roster. Now, Eric Brundtland remains in the ballgame to play left field for the Phillies, and Ryan Matson will be the new pitcher for the Phils. This is the 43rd game for Ryan, 2-4 with a 3.32 ERA. Boy, Jay Happ did a nice job. 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, scattered 6 hits and 3 runs. If it were not for Brandon Phillips and an offense that is just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, it might have been a different night for Jay Happ.
Well, get around about after you score all those runs, what happens the next night? And they had all those chances early in the game to put all that to rest. Didn't do it, and now you're in a tough game. And
Chris Dickerson is up as a pinch hitter for the Reds. Dickerson this year hitting 270 or hitting 278 with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. Count is 0-2 to him. Sounds strange, but Dickerson is the pinch hitter here instead of Micah Owings because Dusty's just looking for a guy to get on, not a guy to hit a ball out of the ballpark.
Right. And at that point, you know, you had a left-handed pitcher out there for Micah Owings, a right-handed hitter.
Called strike 3, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Ryan Matson. 1 away here in the 8th inning. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. 1 out, top of the order. Willie Taveras, the batter, with the moon in the background. And I don't know if it's a full moon, if it's a near full moon, or what it is, Wheels.
Well, we found out today that the full moon was technically last night. The paper said it was going to be today, but it has something to do with Greenwich time. Anyway, I got a really nice explanation here from Kevin Riley, a big Phillies fan, who explained that technically last night at a certain point was a full moon.
Taveras punts it towards second. Chase with the flip of the glove, and he got him. And he is so comfortable with that play. So confident with that play.
Well, and it's also knowing the hitter, too. You watch where he started on that play, and they anticipated that from Taveras because he does it so much and he's so good at it. With a pitcher, you're going to push it by now. Well, we can't see Utley right there, but watch how quickly he gets into your picture. Here he comes, and he's already on the grass at that point, which meant he was about halfway in the infield. Look where he is. I mean, he's halfway, way on the grass, because he was halfway in before the play even started. As soon as he saw him slide his hands up, boom, he was breaking.
His instincts are just, I mean, he is major league through and through, and it includes his instincts.
Exactly. You know, that's knowing how to play the game, know the opponent and the opponent's tendencies.
2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Here's Jerry Hairston. Good pitch by Matson in the count 0-1.
And Taveras will probably catch a guy asleep once in a while in that play and beat out a bunt.
Hairston tonight has singled and scored. He's scored ahead of Brandon Phillips' first home run.
In a tight game like this, the Phillies are going to put Phillies on the line to prevent against an extra base hit. Just the way they just had Utley playing up. It's all time of the game, personnel involved, score. Black goes into guarding the line whether you do it or not. And in this case, they feel they should do it.
Little cutter from Ryan Matson, and it's 1-2. Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, letting us know what the count is.
Yeah, that cutter's a much better pitch for him to right-handed hitters than left. At least it is at this point because he's leaving the cutter over the plate. to the left-handed hitters, he's gotten hurt. To the right-handed hitters, it cuts away from him, and he has less of a chance to get hurt.
Change up, and he got him. Hairston down on strikes, and Ryan Matson has a 1-2-3 top of the 8th inning. Phillies and the Reds even at 3. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, the game tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. David Weathers in his 33rd game. He's 0-1 with a 2.63 ERA. And this guy is headed toward 40 years old, and he has been around for a long time, and he's still pitching well.
He's still throwing a lot of sliders. That's been his pitch throughout his career. A little change-up, fastball, but sliders is out pitch.
We'll face Pedro Feliz to start things off in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Pedro chops it toward the hole at shortstop. Hairston slings it to first, and it goes right past Votto. And Feliz is going to head to second. He'll get there easily. Nobody's at the bag. And that's the 10th error of the season for Jerry Hairston Jr. And the Phillies have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Well, now you got to try and manufacture a go-ahead run and go to Brad Litch. Carlos Ruiz will come down and talk to Sam Perlotta. Here's the play, and Hairston, it's not that tough a play. I mean, he didn't have to go that far to his right. He was out of control when he caught it. And it wasn't a matter of taking a crow hop, and then, boy, I got a funny hop on Votto, and he kind of bailed. That was just good for the Phillies and not well executed by the Cincinnati Reds.
They probably could have stopped and maybe thrown it over first.
Yeah, it's not like Feliz is a fast runner. You know, that's the point. We're just talking about Utley, the play he made. You got to know your situation, who your base runner is. In that case, here comes Mayberry out to run for Philly. In that case, you don't have to play that ball out of control because you have a slow runner.
Well, now you have a quicker runner, and John Mayberry, and Pedro is out of the ball game. So the go-ahead run is in scoring position with some better speed with John Mayberry Jr. That would mean that Eric Bruntland's going to probably move over to third base. Carlos is up there to try to get Mayberry over to third. Carlos is 1 for 3 tonight. He bunts the ball, foul.
And they have Matt Stairs ready to come out if you get him over. And they're not going to, they don't have a left-hander to use. Everything's right now. There's Matt ready to come out of the dugout. That pinch hit. He's in the on-deck circle. Lidge can ready to come into the game. Everything is set up when you play situation baseball here. You get a run, get your closer in the game, maybe win a tough game.
Carlos bunts it in the air up toward third. Good bunt. Weathers off the mound. And a good play by Phillips. The sacrifice is successful. Mayberry's over to third, and that's exactly what Carlos wanted to do.
Good job. Carlos got the job done. Okay. 2 rules, and he sure did on that play.
Phillies during this 4-game winning streak have played some pretty good situational baseball.
There's the bunt, and Weathers is going to come over and field it. They were going to try, you see what they were trying to do here. They were trying to have a situation where maybe the third baseman could retreat and Weathers take responsibility over there. But Carlos put that in such a good spot that Encarnacion had to come in. And a good job by Mayberry to read it off the bat, too, and get over to third.
Dusty Baker has the infield in. Stairs takes a pitch outside, and they try to throw behind Mayberry. It was a design play, thinking that maybe they can catch the rookie napping off third. And it's 1-0. One for 5, just 5 ABs against Weathers for his career. Matt, a .276 hitter this season with 3 pinch hit home runs. And he didn't pull the trigger on that one. It's 2-0.
Yeah, Matt Stairs, of course, thinking about lifting the ball right now, getting it to the outfield. Look at the Phillies tonight with runners in scoring position. That's the only reason why this is a ball game.
Look at the Reds. 0 for 1.
They haven't had chances. That is not a full moon.
But it's close enough to the moon that Stairs used as a backdrop in Los Angeles last year.
Well, he doesn't have to hit it out right now. All he's got to do is hit a fly ball. And 3-0 count. I think Charlie might turn him loose here.
Ball 4, and Stairs is aboard. Runners on first and third. Dick Pole, Dusty Baker, Sam Perlazzo, John Mayberry, Matt Stairs, Davey Lopes.
Now their infielders are all looking in the dugout right now. The Reds infielder. Phillips has his hat off, waving his hands. What do we do? You want us to play for 2? You want us to play halfway? It looked like Chris Spire just said 2, didn't he?
Yeah, Chris Spire, who's to your left, to Billy Hatcher, signaling the defense, and yeah, they're looking for 2.
Now they're well, there's some confusion on what they want them to do.
Ramon Hernandez just laid down the signs to let everybody know what was going to happen.
Well, they've got Phillips almost halfway and Harrison back a little deeper. Now they're going back towards double play depth.
Jimmy tonight has a base hit in 4 at-bats. He's also struck out twice. And he pulls that one, backhanded by Votto. He hesitates, comes to the plate, and Mayberry's out at the plate. Man, I thought that hesitation cost him. Mayberry going on contact. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
I'd like to see the kind of lead that John Mayberry got there. Here's a play by Votto. He jumps up, he can't get the ball out of the glove, then he makes a good throw. And a great block of the plate there by Hernandez to reach out and tag Mayberry. Look right here. Well, like he had a decent walking lead.
I thought maybe he got his hand under that tag.
Boy, there's another runner at third and less than 2 outs. That's a great job by Hernandez to get under control, catch the throw up the first baseline, come back and get him. It's really close whether he got his hand in there or not, but DeMuro says no.
And that angle was tough to tell, but I tell you, that one angle looked like he did get his hand in there.
He threw his foot down there and he made him change direction a little bit.
Yeah, hit the foot. Yeah, he did hit the foot a little bit. Shane's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. That's what Shane has done tonight. His 40th RBI would give the Phillies the lead. There's Stairs at second base.
Well, you don't have a great runner at second. And And you remember the right fielder, Bruce, can really throw. Here's another look. See what you think here. There's the mask there.
Tough to tell there whether he got his arm or not.
And Demura had great position.
Chopper off the plate. Phillips has got it. Flips over to second, and the inning is over. Phillies strand 2 more. They have stranded 11 through the first 8 innings, and David Weathers works out of a jam. And we go to the 9th, tied at 3. Given out on Wednesday the 19th. That game's already sold out. Thursday, August 20th, a Jewish Heritage celebration. All 3 games at 7:05. You can log on to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today. Well, we go to the top of the 9th inning. Game tied at 3. Eric Brutlet moves from left field to third base. John Mayberry, who came on the pinch run for Pedro Feliz, goes into left field. Brad Lidge in his 33rd game. This is not a save situation, but he wants to keep it in a 3-3 ball game so the Phillies can win it. And they're at bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brad with 16 saves, a 7.06 ERA, and he has been, well, they call him lights out Lidge. He's been lights out the last couple of outings. So he's in. Francisco Cordero, the closer for the Reds, is warming up in their bullpen. And Brad will face Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, and Johnny Gomes.
This is Brad Lidge on Sunday. As Tom said, called him lights out last year, and he was lights out on Sunday. 3 strikeouts, struck out the side, had a real good fastball and slider.
Well, the first pitch to Votto is that slider. And he's ahead 0-1. Votto's 0 for 3. We've talked about this the last couple of outings for Brad. One of the key reasons why he's looked better is that his fastball has been, mid-90s, but he's worked ahead of the hitters, which has really helped him.
Yeah, and his fastball's been down and in a good location.
It's the 11th time this year that Brad has pitched in a non-save situation. A slider, did he go? No appeal. Yes, he did. Says Jerry Meals, the third base umpire. Votto can't believe it.
That's close.
That's really close.
Yeah, that's one you're happy to get. You can understand why Votto's unhappy.
I don't know how you could be that strong to hold your swing when you got so much behind it going toward the strike zone. Guy looked like a gymnast there. A big one.
Man, gymnasts aren't normally that big. Good play.
3-2 the count to Votto. Lidge and Ruiz both wanted that one, with Phillips, who's done the damage tonight for the Reds, in the on-deck circle. Line drive, base hit for Votto. Headed down toward the corner. Worth is over quickly, and Votto's going to be at second base with his 14th double of the season. Well, now Phillips will bat for only the second time tonight. The Reds will have a batter up with a runner in scoring position. That's how good Jay Happ was.
And that was a good at bat by Votto, too. You know, he took that 2-2 slider, and I think he got a 3-2 slider that he hooked towards the corner. Now the Reds in the same situation as the Phillies in the bottom of the eighth, and the Phillies were not able to execute. And see what the Reds do.
Eric Bruntlund and Ryan Howard are both playing in.
You wouldn't think he'd bunt.
Although he's 0 for 7 against Brad, maybe.
He's a 4-hole hitter and another right-handed hitter. I don't know.
Looks like he's got a different bat than the ones he used earlier. He does show bunt, bunts it toward first, backhanded in fair territory by Howard, and Phillips is out. He was squirming around like a worm. And Votto's over at third.
Oh, they're going to bring Lance Nix out. That's why they bunted. Here it is. There's the bunt. It's bunted hard. Ryan Howard fields it. I think he's out of the baseline at that point. I think that ball had a chance to go foul.
I think Ryan's expression, because it looked like he was upset that he fielded it, would tell you that, yeah, it probably was going to spin foul.
It happened so fast, you know, and it was coming at him so hard. They'll walk Nix, of course, to take the bat out of his hand, but you just wonder if it had a chance to go foul.
So Lance Nix, who comes into this at bat with a .251 average and 7 home runs, is not going to get a chance to swing the bat. And the Phillies will take their chances with Ramon Hernandez, who's in the on-deck circle, and maybe get, you know, Brad doesn't do this often, but it seems like every time we talk about it, he does. Maybe get a double play ball.
Yeah, and they'll play for one at home.
So Charlie Manuel putting the double play in order. Hernandez has grounded into 7 this year. Dusty Baker is down to 2 bench players.
Now here you go. See, it's spinning. It just you just don't know. But it was spinning kind of crazy towards the line, and Ryan's first reaction was to field it. He did.
Yeah, when you're charging that hard, it's tough to take that chance, because if it goes by you and stays fair, it's a base hit.
Trouble. And that all happened so fast because he bunted it so hard. It wasn't like he had a chance to size it up.
Hernandez is 0 for 3 tonight. He's lined out and struck out in his last 2 at-bats. This after flying out to center his first time up. Phillies play the middle infield for 2. And that's a strike, and the count is 0-1.
And you talk about double play, but obviously Lidge is going for a strikeout here.
A couple pitches that Brad has wanted during this inning, and that one looked like it was a little inside. And things have evened up 1-1. Line drive to center field, and the Reds are going to have the lead. RBI single for Hernandez. It's the first hit of the night with a runner in scoring position for the Reds, and they lead it 4-3.
Hanging slider. Joey Votto made a heck of a play last inning to keep that potential go-ahead run from scoring, and now he gets a double lead off the inning, score the go-ahead run.
That RBI for Hernandez is 34th of the year.
Here it is. See, it's a hanger. And he did some damage.
Well, now Jay Bruce, he's 0 for 3 tonight. 2 runners on. And Bruce takes one inside. Carlos Ruiz out to the mound to talk to Lidge.
And they have a really good closer, too, Cordero. Hard fastball, slider, and splitter. And you want to keep this to 1.
There's Cordero loosening up in the pen. Firing in the pen. That's a good slider there, and it's 1-1. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Phillies will have 3, 4, and 5 up against Cordero, and right now they trail it by 1. Brad Lidge is trying to make sure that that's all they trail by. Try to get Bruce on a slider. Now it's even 2-2. One manager whose team has only had 2 guys in scoring position the whole night, and another manager, Charlie Manuel, has had a whole boatload of guys in scoring position.
It's baseball.
Yep. And the Reds have a 1-run lead.
It's the whole thing about when you don't put your opponent away early, when you have shots, you don't know what can happen. And in this case, the Reds, to their credit, and Aaron Harang especially, hung in there.
Well, this game will encore tonight at 10:30 Eastern, and tomorrow at 6 a.m. on the Comcast network. Back in the 3rd inning, the Phillies had scored a run. There was nobody out, and they had bases loaded.
It was 3-0 at the time.
Yeah, and they couldn't get anything else, and that's all the scoring they've had tonight. And Bruce stays alive as the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, this game's still very winnable, but if you don't, you kick yourself for that. And also, they had a leadoff triple and didn't score a run.
Well, he's broken 2 straight bats for Jay Bruce. So Bruce will get a new bat. Get a little pine tar on it. Brad's been trying to finish him off here. To second base, could it be 2? Utley applies the tag, throws to first. It is a double play. He was chasing Hernandez all over the infield grass. The Reds, though, do get a run on a base hit by Ramon Hernandez. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The big guns are doing Rendell to celebrate the 3 Pennsylvania championships. And the newest Flyer, Chris Pronger, surprises the kids at the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation camp. All the news Phillies fans need to know tonight at Sports Night, only on Comcast Sportsnet. And the hope is that they've got something else to talk about, because Francisco Cordero is on here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies trail it by 1, and they'll have Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth due up against the Reds closer, who has blown only 1 save this year. He's an all-star for the 3rd time in his career. This is his 36th ball game. 20 saves and 21 opportunities. And he last pitched 3 games ago for Cincinnati. The Phillies, who last night scored 22 runs, have scored 3 tonight, but they do have 10 base hits. So Chase Utley will lead it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Chase with 3 hits tonight, his average up to .311. And he is now 8 for 16 on this homestand. And Cordero delivers. Chase lines it to right. Right at Bruce. 1 pitch, 1 set aside here in the 9th inning. Jay Bruce was playing 2 steps from the warning track, so all he had to do was roll across the edge of the outfield to make that catch.
Right, well, they're going to have a defense where you're not going to hit the ball over their head if you can avoid it, and also cut off balls in the alleys. And that's what happened there.
Cordero has recorded 54. This is how durable he's been. 54 of the Reds' last 55 save opportunities. Ryan Howard homered his first time up. He's 1 for 3. And he takes an off-speed pitch for a ball. That is a split-finger fastball.
He'll throw splits to left-handed hitters, and he has a good one.
Second only to Francisco Rodriguez in saves since 2007. A lot of people criticized the Reds when they spent all their money on Cordero a few years ago, but he's done a pretty good job for them.
Well, they thought they were going to have a chance to win the division. They needed a closer, and they took him from Milwaukee. And of course, their team wasn't good enough for him to make that big an impact.
He has 231 career saves.
He shook off 2 pitches to get the split again. And hard split finger.
85.
Another one.
That one at 86 miles per hour, and it's 2-2 now to Ryan.
He doesn't throw it to right-handed hitters that much. He'll throw more sliders, but left-handed hitters, boy, he throws splits. Threw a back foot breaking ball that time. Go to 3-2. Now that does not mean he'll give in with a fastball here.
There's Jason hoping that Ryan can get on. Ball 4, Ryan is on. And another splitter to Howard, and the tying run is on first.
That was really good at bat, Tom. You know, not to just panic and swing. And then he threw him a 3-2 splitter.
Jason Worth tonight has walked twice. He's homered. He is struck out. The time has been called before Jason could settle in. Check swing, foul ball, 0-1.
Now he will see some sliders. There's one.
Jason's home run was an opposite field shot back in the 2nd inning. All looked well for the Phillies. They were up 2-0, then 3-0. That was it, though. In the air to right field. Bruce is at the warning track. Now he comes in. He misread that one. And because he was venturing back, the fans thought, well, maybe there's a chance.
And it kind of looked like he hit it off the end of the bat. It was really high. They're set up away. Yeah, it's kind of off the end of the bat and way up in the air. Just died out there. The wind has really died down too since the game started.
Well, now the last hope for the Phillies is Eric Bruntlett. Bruntlett struck out as a pinch hitter his first time up. Ooh, that's a tough pitch.
That was outside.
95 off the block, and it's 0-1. Little cue shot to first base. Votto's got it, and the Phillies' 4-game winning streak is over with as the Reds, down 3-0, come from behind and win it by a final score of 4-3. Brandon Phillips with 2 home runs, one a 2-run shot, the other a solo shot. He is our Chevrolet player of the game with 3 of the 4 RBIs for the Cincinnati Reds. So this 4-game series is all even now at 1 win apiece.
That's a character